from the Fear Fishing webcast for a while, and it all goes to hell in a handful.
Yes.
How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing excellent.
Well, I'm glad to have you. Are you stressed?
No, I don't get stressed. But
Yeah.
it's your show. I'm just here for the ride.
The something on the Facebook has changed. Oh man, and I'm not a computer whiz, so
I'm totally useless there, buddy.
I just start hitting buttons, and hopefully this is working. Amber, you still don't have Wi-Fi in the house?
It's probably the floppy disk.
The floppy disk.
Probably.
So let's start around the horn. I'm Ian West. For you guys who don't know, we have had a bit of a hiatus here, but we are back. To my left.
You want me to tell my name?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
My name is Mark Hunter. I'm a Viking.
Nice. Nice. We're going to get into that here in a couple of minutes. Mr. McCall, how are you?
How come I don't see Mr. McCall up here?
Because our producer sucks. Our interwebs, there they all are. Things are all slow here at Fear Fishing.
Sean's like
Sean,
all knees.
we're
right
wearing
now.
the same shirt, man.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, I've been wearing this all day.
Me too. Great minds think alike.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They're on sale at the Fear Fishing store. We'll get into that too here in a bit. So, Sean, big news. You got puppy today.
Yeah, got a puppy.
How's that?
It's a puppy.
They excited? Not excited?
If I can get as much sleep as this puppy gets,
That is
he's a
true.
well-rested man.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Running the IM board, Miss Amber. How's it going? Is there people watching? Is it working?
I'm delayed. I'm really delayed.
In the comments there, does people say they can hear us? Yep. Okay, then we're good. That's all I needed from them. Scotty!
Are you delayed or is your phone
Frozen Tundra.
delayed? Yeah, oh.
Frozen Tundra, how's it going? You can watch.
Good. I'm always delayed.
You could. You are always
Hey,
delayed.
Yes, he is.
We've had like a 2-month break, and we're still all ahead of you.
Oh yeah.
Because you
Still
missed
back
like
there.
the first 10.
Nobody can hear Sean, by the way.
Nobody can hear Sean. Excellent.
Penises.
Really?
I can get it all out now. Penises.
Oh, there we go. I heard you.
Did you?
Oh.
I didn't hear him.
Penises.
I think I hear him.
I don't know if I hear him or it just I can read his lips.
Penises.
Oh my God, this podcast is a nightmare. Just because you can't hear them doesn't mean they can't hear them at home, Amber.
No, people are saying they can't hear him.
Oh, they can't
Oh.
at all. Well, okay. Grab that microphone off the holder and pass it over to Sean.
Penises.
What a nightmare.
How come we can hear that?
My phone's working fine. This is, oh my gosh. Turn that on though. That's not on. You hit the on button. There you go.
Penises.
Oh,
There he
that's
goes.
loud and clear.
He's in there now. Finally, we have it figured out.
You can take the jet thing off now.
Yeah.
Probably.
Here you go, Miss Amber. This is, you can use my phone on the data plan, and it's perfectly up to date. Let's get this started. What a nightmare.
Holy smokes. First podcast.
Oh
Ian?
my God, this is worse than the first podcast. At least that one worked.
Do you even cast, bro?
Do you even cast? That's what happens when you take a break. Let's first start off about like why we've had a hiatus.
Busy.
Busy.
It's my busy time of year.
Sean,
Sean's
I'm
got, like,
ridiculously, insanely busy right now.
you know,
That's 'cause you're a good brother too.
I am a good brother, yes.
yes, with the vlog, it just makes it's hard to find time that everybody can do this together. Hopefully now that, you know, we're getting into fall, we're going to get a little back on track.
Yeah. Man.
We're going to figure out this computer game too.
Don't count on me to figure anything out with a computer game because
Me-
that's
Man.
just not my gig.
We probably hire a new intern here at Fear Fishing who knows about computers.
Yeah, 'cause that's a good move.
Yeah.
I'm delayed still.
It's pardon?
I'm still delayed.
It's all right, Scott. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's working at home. That's all we really care about. Amber is working. You look like you're typing like a bugger.
She's ordering Chinese.
She can't even do two things at once here.
Is
Forrest Wood Cup was held today in the United States. What do you guys think of? Did anybody watch?
Dude, I didn't even know what was going on. That's how huge this thing is.
I did not see. Like I see live feeds on Facebook that are really shitty. That the whole thing is not bass. Can you name 5 anglers? And if you take the 3 Canadians who fish FLW, you can name 5 anglers who fish the FLW.
There's 4 actually.
No.
There's 4.
Yeah.
Well, see, I didn't even know that. So I
Yeah, there is 4.
They're just not. Who's the 4th?
There's Curtis. There's
Curtis.
Gussie.
I know Curtis too.
yeah.
Shout out
and
to
there's
Curtis.
The Johnsons.
And then there's the Johnsons. FLW just isn't bass.
It is nowhere near bass.
The Forest Wood Cup doesn't bring, I think that's why everybody's jumping ship and going to bass.
Well, look at all the top guys. Look at Ayler.
Ayler,
He jumped ship, right?
Wheeler,
Wheeler.
uh,
And these guys are kicking it on the
Daniels,
Height.
Randall Tharp.
bass. Do you think it's like the junior A of the NHL?
I don't know. Yeah,
Like a stepping stone kind of thing?
I think that the marketability in bass is way, way more than FLW. I think that, nobody. We're probably going to take a lot of heat over this because there is a huge group of FLW fans. Like FLW.
Sure there is.
There is a huge group. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just nobody. I don't feel like people grew up wanting to win the Forest Wood Cup, that everybody grew up wanting to win the Bassmaster Classic.
It's a timing thing. Bassmaster Classic's been around for years.
Super
Forest Wood
Bowl or
Cup,
Grey
not
Cup?
so much.
I don't think it's that separated. Considering 800 people watch the CFL.
What do you think, Sean?
What do you think? You've been to
Penises.
that's what they have at FLW.
I don't.
Lots of them.
Yeah. No. I really like the Elite Series. I think they got a lot more to offer with the entire show. It's just, to me, it just seems better put together.
It is. The live feed is definitely way better.
Way better. Yeah.
Like leaps and bounds better. I really, really enjoy watching Bass live.
That's pretty cool, eh?
I do. I get
Your
hooked
day,
on
As
it.
soon as you put it on, your day is shot.
Done. Over.
Yeah.
The other thing with Bass is they have the best names in fishing, and it's harder to win an Elite Series event than it is to win an FLW event. And if you just look at the guys who crossed over, look how hard of a time Ayler's having. He destroyed.
His first season with BASS was awesome.
I don't know if it was. I don't think he's never won an Elite Series event.
No, but it was awesome. No,
He's
he won his first event, did he not?
No, he won the
That
Texas.
was Brett Height won his first event. ever.
Yeah, he won the Texas Bass, whatever it was. Remember that? I can't remember the official. I don't think it counts as an Elite Series win.
No.
But he won that tournament. But he owned FLW for years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, owned FLW. And then he went to the Elite Series, and it seemed to get a whole lot tougher for him. Wheeler's, I just think that the best anglers in the world fished the Bassmaster Elite Series.
That is not even arguable.
Getting on the Bassmaster Elite Series, a friend of the show, Brandon Polnick, is in the lead for Angler of the Year points.
Attaboy, Brennan.
Brandon should take this home at St. Clair. He's got a pretty marginable lead. Scotty probably knows more than this than I do.
No, I've been out of the loop.
What are you talking about?
Whatever.
No. Yeah, right. You
Stalker
post
boy.
everything that happens in every tournament in Ontario on our Facebook chat.
Yeah. I'm so busy at work. Hey, guys, did you see that buddy's leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Scott. Maybe
So
that's why
that was
you're
a big
so
event
busy.
today. Does anybody know the angler who won?
No.
I don't know either. Somebody would have to Google it. I have no idea. I even read the name and I'd never heard of it before.
Good for him, though.
Good for him. Congratulations to the winner of the Forest Wood Cup. Thousand Island Tour ended yesterday. Thousand Island event.
Yep.
Now that was some next level shit right there.
That was pretty
That's
impressive.
Some big ass bags, man.
That is some huge bags of fish. Congratulations once again to the Johnsons. I think this is they've only not won one tournament they fished in Ontario this year, right? They got second. Corey got second. CSFL event next weekend. They're probably going to win the B1. That'd be my vote if I was a betting man. If I was a betting man in England and they were on the 24 interwebs betting network, I would bet on the Johnsons. Lots of money.
I got my money on Cooper and Danny.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, you can just write me a check before you go out the door because I'm pretty sure that Corey and Chris are going home with another boat.
Yeah.
Do you think that anglers in Ontario are getting discouraged fishing against them?
Absolutely.
Do you think it's pretty hard to beat them?
I would think so.
They're,
'Cause you hear it. You hear it. Oh, the Johnsons are here.
They are the two best Canadian bass anglers
Oh,
by far.
You can't even argue that. They're
By
unbelievable.
far. Now, do you guys think they should compete against average weekend Joes?
Why wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Why,
Where do you put the point where you say, okay, you can't compete anymore? You can't do that.
No.
No, but they
Can't
did
do
in the
that.
States with Jordan Lee. They told him to go home. You can't fish any more local events. The guys don't want to fish against you. I'm just being if I was still fishing tournaments, I would want Corey and Chris there.
You would.
Yes, I would want to fish
If-
against
if-
the
if-
best.
If you're gonna be the best, you got to beat the best.
That's right. I wouldn't want to win a tournament that they weren't at, because then it's kind of like you only won because Chris and Corey weren't there. Sad truth.
Pretty much.
It's pretty much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I hear lots of rumbling. I hear lots of complaining, but I think they should be allowed to fish.
Absolutely.
Now, do you think that there should be a level of tournaments in Ontario where they're not allowed to fish?
I would think it would be a good idea. Remember the old 60 and under horsepower, like those kind
Well,
of
let's
days?
say the bass
That
top.
just got bigger, right? It just went from 60 to 75 to
Yeah,
100
for sure.
to
So let's say the bass
115.
top come back. Bass top. We'll call it bass top. We all know
Okay.
what I'm talking about. Let's say that series came back, and that was kind of like your weekend warrior tournament series.
Mhm.
You think guys who do you think like Corey and Chris shouldn't be allowed to fish a series like that?
No.
No, you don't.
Fish whatever they can want.
Now, how do you think this is going to hurt the tournament series next year? Let's
Well,
say you're
I'm sure
let's
there's
say
guy- I'm
let's
sure
say
there's guys
you
out there.
you're guys 80 through 34, and you just haven't got the time to fish every day. And I'm just being the devil's advocate here. You're a donator. You're probably never going to win. Do you think that at some point that losing every weekend to the same team is going to diminish the sport in Ontario?
I think it's going to have an effect on some people.
I'd
Definitely.
agree with that. Yeah, for sure it
Definitely.
would.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, you hear the
We're
rumble.
trying to get the numbers up.
Hear
Well,
the
they're
rumble.
trying to get the numbers up. If you like,
But maybe the tournament director's got to do something with the payout schedule. You know, maybe they got to make it a little more attractive for second
Second,
through
third, yeah.
whatever amount of boats. You know what I mean?
They'll make top end so heavy.
yeah, but nobody wants that.
Well, how can nobody want that? They want to win something. If the Johnsons are winning all the time, how could they not want that?
Yeah, we should give them a trophy for participating.
Who's that?
Everyone.
Everybody else?
Yeah.
I'll take a
I totally think honest to if it's getting more and more expensive to fish tournaments. It's adding up. We're already losing teams, right? There's not a tournament who made 100 boats this year so far. Not even close. 20 boats shy.
Yeah.
Do you think so? That series, let's say that series has 80 boats, and Corey and Chris won their last event, and they win this event. And my bet on Lake St. Francis at the end of the year is that there's probably 2 teams who have a chance at beating Corey and Chris. At what point, like, let's say they win the worst finish they have all year in Ontario is second, and they take home $100,000 in 3 bass boats. Do you think there's 40 teams out there who next year think maybe I'm not going to donate to this?
Probably.
So that cuts our field
Well, I don't
fields
know
down by.
about 40, but there's going to be a number.
At what point does somebody?
I'm sure there's a number now that are not fishing because they're there.
And I'm not, and like if next year I decide to fish tournaments, I'd like to fish against Corey and Chris. So I want that clear. But I feel like there's a whole bunch of people who just don't want to do it.
I'd like to be a non-boater in one of their boats for a day. That'd be like winning the lottery.
For sure it would be.
Yeah.
You know?
Wouldn't have to do anything. Carry their weight. Just eat
That'd be-
sandwiches all day.
So that's all I'm throwing out there. And I've discussed. I've
Imagine
just
what you learn from those guys.
I've-
Though. Like they're unbelievable.
that for sure. And I've
Unbelievable.
discussed to like 10 or 15 guys who I fished tournaments against with in the past who, have done okay in tournaments over the years and have some good finishes who were just tired of this. It's like,
There's a
and
number-
they
there's a number of
they
guys out
use
there.
this as like, let's say we were in a beer league and somebody's friends were Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, and Carey Price. Would it be okay for them to play on your summer beer league team?
It'd be fun. It's a beer league.
That's right. So
Yeah.
now let's say the beer league cost you $700 plus another $3,000 in hotel fees to get beat up for that they could take home more money.
Mhm.
Would you still be interested in, the summer after?
There's a decision to make there.
Right? One of the anglers brought up to me that this is basically, they felt it was more like a fundraising event for the Johnsons to fish down south.
Well, listen, these guys do this for a living,
That's
Yeah.
right.
right? They spend more time on the water, obviously, than anybody else.
So is there rules that you can say if you actually are a pro where this is your only source of income, then
They've done that down in the States for Jordan Lee. in his area. They sent him home from a tournament because he was a full-time fisherman. I think this question is going to come up more and more over the next. There's only 4 people in all of
I agree
Ontario
with you.
who. There's only 4 guys in Canada who fish bass fishing is their profession.
I would say there's more than that.
Who?
You got the Johnson brothers,
Gusterson,
Bob Azumi.
Bob
You're saying
Azumi's
fishing tournaments?
tournaments.
Okay.
Making a living fishing tournaments.
Yeah.
Not from TV shows, not from just
Well, then there's only really 2, and that's
3.
the Johnsons.
The 4 of them. Gusterson,
Yeah, but they're not making a living doing it.
they don't have other jobs. Curtis
don't?
Richardson doesn't have another job.
He doesn't?
He's a bass fisherman.
Well, good job, guys.
There's 4 guys. There's 4 guys in Canada making a living at this. Do you think this is going to hurt the sport? Or
No.
maybe we just, they're allowed to fish in those top series, and then there's another series where pros are excluded.
Is there enough weekends for that?
I don't know.
Is there enough pros?
I'll
Yeah.
bet you. So here's my other decision. I think that there's some.
4.
Right?
Just talked about it, yeah.
I think that if a series like Top Bass came back at $175 a team and excluded pros from fishing, that it'd probably be the number 1 series in Ontario. All those clubby guys who don't fish those big events would go back to that type of series. Probably get those 130 teams back.
Yeah, but I don't know how
And
you
that
would
affects
say.
the other series too, right?
No, for sure. But how much call is there for professional bass fishing in Ontario?
I don't think it's big enough here to be excluding people.
It hasn't worked for FLW Canada
Yeah.
giving away that big prize. There isn't enough guys who want to do that.
Yeah.
It's a toss up here. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money. Do you want the sport to grow, or do you want to keep there's a ton of guys out there who just feel like they're donating money. They do not stand a chance. And they're not losing by a pound or an ounce. They're getting their asses hammered.
Well, that would be me.
The second place
Yeah, you know what?
the
Right?
second place guy is getting annihilated.
But
You
there,
know?
you know what? I've never won a tournament, but I start every tournament thinking I'm going to win that tournament.
Me too.
If you were headed to Lake Erie next weekend and you'd put all that money on the line, would you think you had a shot?
I don't fish Erie, so no.
If you went to St. Francis and you'd
Don't
seen us
fish that.
fish there, you'd seen us fish.
Yeah.
Do you think I couldn't win. I couldn't beat Flaro, let alone Chris and Corey.
Yeah.
If
Well,
I went next weekend to Erie and I fished
I
Erie
think-
a lot,
I think you got to be serious about it if you're going to be serious about it. Like, if you really want to win, you got to put in the time,
yeah.
right? You really got to put in the time. Like, you got to look at these 2 kids, Cooper and Danny. They're out there right now pre-fishing their asses off. These kids they got a dream. They're chasing it.
For sure.
Why can't everybody else? If you want to win, put in the fucking time.
Well, because nobody's, there's a lot of other things. Like, I could see if 50 guys in Ontario were making a living at this, it'd be different. But if you take the other, Cooper and Danny are young kids, no responsibilities, no families. Everybody else in that field has got a wife and kids and a house to pay for.
Yeah.
They don't have 6 weeks to take off this summer. Right? Cooper and Danny are another exception to the rule. Right? Good on them. And when I was
they
20,
work their bags off and save their pennies to take these weeks off, man. They're real strict.
for sure. But
Okay.
if you threw a mortgage payment on top of them and
Yeah,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I
and
agree.
diapers
It'd
and
be a different
it'd
show,
be
yeah.
it'd be over.
But now's the time for them to chase it, right?
Exactly.
That's right. So totally, they just need the rest of the field. As much as we need Danny and Coop and we need Corey and Chris, we still need 99 other teams.
Agreed.
So how do you please the 99 other teams?
Good luck.
You spread the field out. You spread the money out over
Yep.
it.
I think that's it. You just got to
Yeah.
spread out the cake.
Spread out the cake.
Yep.
Maybe people at home can chime in on there. It's probably one of those things where we're never going to make everybody happy.
In anything in life.
Good luck.
I have
Yeah.
a comment from Mark Flintoff. That's why I like the events like Quinty Bass Champs. Low cost and an hourly chance at a decent prize.
That's a great setup.
Yeah,
It
it
is.
is cool.
Yeah, that's a great format.
For sure.
You might start seeing more of these tournaments come around.
It's quite possible. We just have a large gap between, who's winning and who's donating. Like it's really like the difference between the NHL and Pee Wee House League. Right?
Pee Wee.
There's lots of guys in these tournaments.
Me too.
There's lots of guys who'd like to fish tournaments who don't even have a bass boat. So you like right
Yeah.
now your options is, you know, we're trying to get young people in, and let's say you have a 17-foot deep V with a 70 on it. You have to compete. You could possibly have to compete against the 2 best Canadian bass anglers. And then we could even argue that they're probably in the top 100 North American bass anglers.
Oh, definitely.
It's got to be shying people away.
I agree. It's got to be shying people away, but still, I want to go out there and one day I want to beat those guys. Like that would be a pinnacle.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, just to be better than those guys one day.
Y-
I must have done something right that day.
for
Yeah.
sure.
I haven't done it yet.
They're getting better and better. Though. Like when I
They
was
are.
when I started fishing tournaments, we'd finish in 4th place, let's say, and first thing you do is look in the standings where Corey and Chris, and
Oh, yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
they beat us, and sometimes they'd be in like 6th or 7th.
Like they just whacked 80 pounds in 3
But
days.
yeah,
man.
but we're there, you know, and then the time that we won Skoogog, they only had 3 fish, and we were more excited that it was a tough day fishing, and Corey and Chris only had 3 fish, and that we had 20 pounds of smallies. Like I was really excited about this. But they're getting way better, way faster than anybody else. Like we're talking like leads on 2nd place.
Time on the water, man.
Yeah, man. That's what it comes down to.
Time
For
on
sure.
The water. I don't have that much time on the water this year. My confidence is shot. I suck at fishing this year. Suck. I
I
feel
do
like
too.
all I can catch them on is a Senko.
See?
You
Let's
know?
let's get
like
on
I
to.
suck this year.
It has been a tough year in Ontario. Oh, go ahead, Amber.
Here's a question. Paul Hooper is fishing Deep Clear Lake north of Minden next week.
Yep.
What is your go-to deepwater smallmouth lure and color?
I would either throw a Ned rig.
He just
These
throws that
days,
Ned
I
rig,
really would throw a Ned rig right
Yeah.
now, or a drop shot.
Drop shot. I'd say
Probably
drop shot.
like browns, green pumpkin, natural colors in a clear lake.
Yep.
Super simple. Anything that is natural looking forage fish. It's been a tough year in Ontario.
It's been a real weird year.
It rains almost every day.
We've had a lot of low weights on some big lakes.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
some incredibly low weights.
17 pounds one Rice Lake.
Mm-hmm. At our tournament, what won our tournament?
15, I think, 16.
15 and change, 16
Yeah.
on Rice Lake.
Unbelievable. Hey, which reminds me, Danny McGarry, I beat you. You owe me a 4-pack of monsters. So if you're listening, get off your wallet and bring them to me.
Now, it has been incredibly tough. I have fished a pile this year. Like, the only days I've missed is because, well, this birthday weekend and because of bad weather.
I hate you.
Bad weather.
Yeah, yeah.
I fished a ton. My biggest challenge had been fishing tournaments and fishing the vlogs, 2 different
Oh, sure it is.
ball games.
Sure it is.
So it wouldn't be any fun on the vlog if I went to the same lake every day. So I spend a ton of time switching lakes,
Fishing new
water,
Yeah.
new lakes. Now this is something I was totally not really prepared for because I'm used to when fishing tournaments that I would do the same. Like last year, I did the same thing Cooper and Danny would do. I'd run a cottage, I'd fish for 5 days, and then Saturday and Sunday hit those lakes. And that's what I've done for the last probably 7 years.
And you're serious about it.
That's right. But I'm saying fishing the vlog, where I just jump from lake to lake to lake to lake to lake, has been a whole different ball game.
Enjoyable?
Some days, some days when I get to a new lake, we're going to film, and I know the first time here is going to be tough. I don't know any of the lakes.
Yeah.
Some of the smaller lakes I'm going to have no navel chips, so I'm basically fishing them blind. Now, I've caught some really good fish, but often enough, I think I wish I could do this for 4 days, and then
On the
Saturday
same
and
lake?
on the same lake,
Yep.
and then Saturday and Sunday really put it to them.
Mm-hmm.
That we would probably be getting, sometimes I've never done really well pre-fishing. That's my other thing. I've never been a guy who whaled them during pre-fish. 99% of the time that I finished in the top 10, which was, quite consistently, for the 4 days during pre-fish, we didn't catch nothing. And then all of a sudden on Saturday, we put it to them.
You still learn stuff.
For sure. But Marley put a point to this when him and I were out fishing last. Is there really the motivation there is when there's money behind it? Do you know what I mean? Like when we put all this cash into Saturday and Sunday.
Not just motivation, pressure.
That's right. Now with the vlog, it's kind of like, all right, well, we're gonna go here. We can catch a few fish. It'll edit out pretty good. You know, we've had a good time, and then on to the next lake. I'd like to spend 4 days at Belmont and then film for 2 days. I think this is where like the TV shows, lots of them pre-fish lakes and get ready for filming the lake. And I haven't been doing that.
If you think they're filming a show in an afternoon, you're wrong.
I will tell everybody out there, honest to God, that 99% everything you watch in the vlog is in chronological order. Out of the, I think we're at like 150 vlogs. 1 or 2 times I would film like cloud shots and then put it I've never, like, the fishing is what happened.
Yeah. So
Straight up.
You're not setting the hook with one rod and then you're taking it off of another rod?
No. Like, I don't know. I'm not that good at editing. I blew a ton of fish too. I think that, you know, I missed a ton of fish too.
And that's what people like to see too.
Yeah, and, you know, it's more honest. But I really feel the pressure. I think there's more pressure filming the vlog because I get like gut aches sometimes going to new lakes. Like there's pressure that I need to catch fish on this vlog just for myself ego. I have not filmed a blast vlog where I didn't catch fish this summer. Right? I kind of know in the back of my head it's coming. Right? Where I don't catch shit. Right? One of these new lakes. When I'm picking these new lakes, most of the time I just, you know, Google map and write on Facebook, has anybody fished this lake? And if somebody says, yeah, it's half-assed, then I go. But I always got a bit of a stomachache on the way there going, oh, my God, I hope there's fish here. I hope I can find something.
I say that on the way to every lake.
If you watch the vlog.
First world struggles there, isn't it?
No, I know.
And if you watch the vlog, I'm most of the time I'm just pounding shorelines because I don't have time to find anything mid-lake.
Well, a lot of them you say you don't have your nav chips for, right?
That's right.
Now, that's a really scary deal when you're out in our boats on the lake with no nav. Like, I've come across some pretty crazy shit out in the middle of the lake. You know, like a foot under the water. Here's a big mountain of
I did it on Cooch last week.
You know,
most of the time
I
could see the rocks as I'm flying over. I said, just keep her pinned down, keep as high as I can.
Most of the time, I just putt around these lakes or throw the trolling motor down. And as soon as I see it coming up from like even 30 to 25, I start slowing down.
Pussy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't mess around on lakes, really.
Yeah.
I don't have a nav chip for.
It's scary.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. It's your baby, right?
Well, it's just, you know, it'd be like breaking your hammer. Like, I'd be up Schitt's Creek for weeks on end.
I thought I was up Shit Creek last weekend when we had our little clubby there out on Cooch.
That's the same place.
I was coming down a real tight boat lane, and these 2 huge cruisers, I'm talking like 60-foot boats, massive, massive, were coming down. One guy was out of the boat lane.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know what he was doing out of the boat lane, but he cut right in front of this other cruiser, right, like I'm talking feet in front of it. And these guys were moving. Huge waves coming off them. And I was like coming right up on him. I was as far over on the right-hand side as I could get. And this guy looked like he was coming at me. I swerve out, and I hit his wave, launched my boat, and when I came down, it was kind of like where both of their waves came together.
Yep.
And I came down like midway in my boat, smoked my boat, like boom. Me and my co, we hit hard, and I pinned her, and we were gone, right? The best thing you can do is just keep up on top of the shit. And like I didn't want to spear anything, right? So I go taking off down the lake, and, you know, we get to our next spot, and I'm fishing out the front. He's fishing out the back. He's facing back. I'm facing forward. And we're fishing for about 15 minutes. All I hear is, oh, my God. I turn around. I'm like, what? He's like, the water. I look, and the water is all the way to the top of my seats in my boat.
No way.
I thought I cracked my hull. I'm like, holy shit, man. We just broke the boat in half. I said, we're screwed. I said, we're done. I said, why isn't the bilge on? I turned the bilge on. Pump out the water. I keep fishing, right? And I was noticing when I was on the front, I'm like, man, I think my batteries are dying. It's only like noon.
Yeah,
it's not even noon, and my boat's getting sluggish, but it's because I filled up with water. It was so heavy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we take the boat back in. I throw the boat up on the trailer, and I got most of the water coming in, and I looked down, and I could see water pushing in from the back. So I'm like, you know what? I said, we might have a good scenario here. I think something might have popped off the back when we hit.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think we got a cracked hull. I think one of the hoses popped off the live well intake.
Yeah.
And sure enough, that's what it was. I pulled the batteries out, pulled out the subfloor from under the batteries, and there it was. popped right off.
Oh.
And water was just moving in there.
No way.
So we put her all back together. We lost an hour and a half on the water, but we got out there to finish the tournament.
Fuck, no wonder you came last.
I know. Well, we would have had to get rid of all our fish anyway. We had no water in the wells, right?
You might just let them swim around the cockpit.
Yeah. Oh,
see-
yeah, right.
Have a little
Not funny, Mark.
little
Hunter.
petting zoo in there.
Yeah. Gonna get you a shirt that says I'm a dick.
So that's been, it's been one of those years in Ontario. The water is way up. It's starting to recede now. There's current in spots that never had current before. Algae blooms, weird weed.
Yeah, really weird
Strange
weed. out there.
weed going on.
Yeah,
It's been a tough year all around.
it's been weird.
It has.
And
I think everywhere I caught a big fish so far, like a really big fish, I've been surprised that a big fish was there.
the only big fish that I've really caught, I saw, and it shouldn't have been there.
I've caught some huge fish this year, and I can't think of most of the time when you're going down. Like, let's say you go to a new lake, right? Like I have, and you see like a rock point with weeds and a tree over, and you're like, you throw in and there's a big fish there, and you're like, there should have been a big fish there. Like, I've not come across one of those fish this year, like a freebie. I like to call
How many
them.
times do I say, oh, look at, I read a book, and the book said that there'd be a fish there.
Yeah, for sure.
And
And
those
most of the time, it's true. Like I
Yeah.
can think in the past where you throw in, you're like, oh, there's a donkey, you should have been there.
Yeah.
The point of a weed edge under a tree with a bunch of rocks. I fished some beautiful water on these new lakes with, deep weed with great big boulders in it, and there's not a damn thing there. But I've also been, I was at the Bay of Quinte the other day, tough fishing. I seen probably a 4.5 swimming just under the surface in a tree who really looked confused. He wouldn't bite, nothing. He just looked confused. And I seem to be finding a lot of that.
He was looking for
really,
the Johnsons.
Yeah, quite.
Yeah, I heard
Where
the
are those
Johnsons
guys?
were on the lake.
What? we'll go to the weigh-in. Maybe that's how they got it dialed in. Maybe those guys are talking to fish.
Hey, they might have something
Maybe
down.
they got something down. What else do we got coming up here? It's been has it been a good summer? Would you say
It's been a rainy summer.
windy?
Windy. It's like 13 degrees in the morning still.
It's cold.
Like every morning is cold. Well, not cold, but
It hasn't.
it's got a chill to it.
It hasn't. The lakes haven't warmed up yet. The water's cold in all the lakes.
Yeah. I think the schedule of the fishing. I think we're gonna get be fishing docks till like November.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
So I really thought that August was going to be the month, and looking at August now, September may be the month of good
weird.
fishing. It has been an incredibly weird season. What about you, Tundra? Let's talk about your engine.
Yeah.
Your hydrogen engine.
Hopefully, yeah.
Your engine's running off water.
We got water. We got no gears. So
Have you got that figured out yet?
no, hopefully tomorrow.
Did anybody, when you posted the video online of running the boat on water, did anybody say anything?
A couple people said maybe a water gasket, which is no big deal. But,
That's what I think it is too.
we'll see.
That's a horrible feeling when your engine doesn't work, eh?
Yeah. Fished all
Yep.
day on my electric.
You did well that day, too.
Not well, but
Okay.
considering.
You got second, didn't you?
No.
I thought you did.
No.
You got a
Didn't
second
do
it
that well.
at some point.
What do you guys got coming up for the rest of the bass season? What are your predictions for the rest of the bass season?
I'm gonna kill it.
Are you?
I hope I make a classic.
Which classic?
CSFL Classic on Stony.
Are you getting close?
I hope. Yeah, we're 15th right now in the Centrals.
That'll be.
We're
You'll
sitting
make
around
that.
15th.
Yeah, you'll
So-
make it top 25, right?
I think it's top 25. Yeah, or top
Yeah.
25 or 30 out of each division.
25, I think it
You
is.
know?
Go to the regional.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they do that all. There's like a pre
regional cup or something like that.
yeah.
I
something.
think everybody's fishing day one and day two this year. They changed it, I think.
And
Remember
then there's a
last year
cup?
you only fit if you could get cut on day one like we did on Stony.
Yeah, yeah,
Not we, but me and Mike.
yeah.
We didn't fish day 1, 2, and 3.
Gotcha. What weekend is that?
September 8th, 9th, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm
talk about September.
I'm going to Petawawa.
Nice.
I'm gonna go try for Team Ontario for
That-
the
like,
OVN.
very exciting.
I haven't done that for years.
We'll all be cheering you on.
I'm going as a boater this year,
Good choice.
and I'm gonna do a couple days of pre-fishing, and then 2 days of fishing the tournament. And I'm going to make it on Team Ontario.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
We should get cake.
Yeah, we should get cake.
Out of
Lots of cake.
Petawawa.
Lots of cake.
We'll get you a trophy.
Now,
if you make it.
I'm going to continue filming the vlog. I got some new and exciting lakes that I'm going to try. I'm hoping that one stuff. You know what? Okay, here's something interesting. I've never been to Lake Simcoe in the summertime. I fish the hell out of it in like October, November. I've never been in there. I'm really hoping the wind dies down here for one day and I can go to Lake Simcoe. That's one of my goals for the summer. I don't know why I've never been there. It was just never.
I don't fish it. My boat's too
I
small.
really like to try that. Our good friends at East Hill Outdoors are reopening their store soon.
Yes.
Have you seen that video of that gun range?
Huge
How
expansion.
insane is that? I don't know much about gun ranges, but if I had a gun range, I think I would want it to be that one.
Oh, that's the real deal, that one.
It is, for sure. There's a whole bunch of new stuff coming, like add-ons. Like the store is expanding.
Oh, yeah.
The 24-hour archery range, which really is for us, is reopening.
Axe throwing.
Pardon?
Axe throwing.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
There's axe throwing?
Yeah. I
There
threw
is
some axes
not.
last night that were. It was
I
pretty
hear
sweet.
there's a club in Whippy
Yes.
or something like that.
Ajax, Whitby. I
Whippy
think
or
there's a couple
Pickering,
of
one of
them,
those. That you could just go throw axes, drink
Nice.
beer and throw axes.
Yeah.
I was talking to Kevin,
Yeah.
and there's going to be like a lounge area in the new
Yes.
store with like a big TV
Yep.
where you can socialize, talk hunting and fishing.
Yep.
I think it's exciting. I'm excited for the store to reopen.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
the
cool.
restricted handgun area is a really cool spot
Yep.
there. You know, you go in, the glass fog's out, and you
Yep.
Really?
you know, it's all private. Yeah, it's
There's
all
going-
bulletproof glass. It's like a cigar lounge almost, but you go in and you look at all the handguns, right?
There's a new expanded parking lot. There's a ton going on here.
Yeah, it's quite the expansion, that's for sure.
It's-
They must have at least doubled their size.
It's-
Oh, it's triple. I drove by
Yeah.
today. Triple.
But
We
the
don't
gun
have a
range takes a
microphone.
lot, right?
Is it?
Yeah, oh yeah.
The new parking lot. So this week it's closed again, I believe.
This week too?
No, maybe it opens tomorrow. Tomorrow's the
does.
14th.
Yeah, I think it does.
I'm going to go in where it's going to be on the vlog. We're going to have a tour.
Wicked.
There is a giant. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell people this, but at the beginning of September, there's a giant sale going on there, like a grand opening sale that we're going to be a part of. It's pretty exciting. Woo! I'm excited.
Bear hunting. You excited for that?
I am very, very, very excited for bear hunting. It's probably one of my favorite things to do.
So we're gonna go see our friends up at
Hardwood and Swamps?
Hardwood Swamps again.
Hopefully, we're going to see bears.
The bears.
You know what?
I saw one.
The bear hunting screwed us in the spring too. The weather. I
It
mean,
did. The
weather
weather, did.
was
the
terrible.
Weather did. Yeah, they had bears on cam the day before we got there and the day after we got there.
It just
So
would pour rain while we were there and be
Yes.
miserable.
that was a shitload of rain. Remember what?
I'd rather a fall bear anyway because I'd really like to make a rug out of one. So fall bear is going to have better fur in the fall than he is
Oh,
shedding in the spring.
Early spring bears got nice coats on them.
Yeah.
You get them before they're all rubbed out. Yeah, you get real nice rugs.
That's
I'm
what
excited.
you got to do. You got to get them before they're rubbed out.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Just like your. I'm not even going to say that.
Yeah.
We were gonna go there and we
set
didn't.
the-
We were gonna go there.
You can do whatever you want.
I backed away. I backed away. I am very excited about bear hunting this fall. More excited I am for the deer hunt.
Yeah.
I've already got trees. I got everything out. Cams, bait, stands, everything ready to go. Big
Nice.
bucks on
Oh,
camera.
I got some mineral stuff in the back of my truck. You can take that out. If you want.
Sweet. Need mineral. Mineral's a big game player. I've learned a lot about baiting.
Well, it's not mineral. It's apple infused salt.
That's
Well,
mineral.
That's
Is that-
mineral.
that's
So
mineral?
here, there's the big. I made
It's
a
not
post.
a block. It's like a bag.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go
There-
and pour
it's
that on a
huge.
stump.
Yeah, put her on a stump. So the corn and apple game, in my opinion, it's way too early for that. Maybe
Oh yeah,
spread a little
you
corn.
don't use that right now. No way.
Mineral, like I bought some actually just like straight up tri-mineral Cal Mix on big blocks. Them things, love that. Bio salt rocks, deer ate them up pretty good. It's the only I did start every game I have the first 2 weeks with corn, and then as soon as I got deer showing up, cut them off the corn, straight to mineral, and then just to get them to hang out. Mineral's way cheaper to be feeding them than corn.
Well, you're
Or
not
anything
feeding the other
else.
animals either with it, right?
Well, the raccoons, they'll eat anything. I've also got on camera some coyotes picking up the little bio salt rocks,
Oh yeah.
picking those up and walking off of them. But yeah, that's my mineral. I'd really like some like soft mineral. The only problem with soft mineral, I did put like a bag of like radish mineral, like Wild Game Nation radish flavored, blah blah blah, and the raccoons loved it. They were I had red raccoons on
Yeah,
camera.
well, you pour that stuff over a stump and it sinks into the stump, and they'll just
If
come lick
the-
the stump and lick the stump and lick the stump.
In between the pouring of the stuff and the actual stump soaking it in, I poured it on a stump, and within 19 minutes there was 7 raccoons licking it off the stump. So it didn't get time to soak in.
Yeah.
The last time I did it, though, I really watched the forecast, and as soon as it started spitting out, I went and did it in the rain for the rain to wash it in. But the first time I did it, I just put it on a stump, and 2 weeks later when I went and checked my trail cam, there was like red raccoons just bathing in it, like piles of, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, my mineral site now, it's like a big crater in the ground. I just keep reloading it. It's been going for years. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then they know where to come for their minerals,
Yeah, for sure.
you know. It's
So how much do you pour in there, Sean?
I'll pour like a 10-pound bag every few months.
Well, that's not a lot.
No,
Right?
it's not a lot. It's not something they're going to come and pound every day of
No.
minerals. You know what I mean? It's not like they're going to come to your corn pile. But right now it's way too early to be feeding corn and stuff. You don't want to just feed the animals corn anyway. It's not really good for their diet. It'll kill them if you just feed them straight corn, right? They need a bunch of different stuff in their diet. You know, that's why it's always good to throw, you know, some alfalfa into the mix. But you get the alfalfa later in the season,
Yep.
right? I don't think you can even get
It's up
alfalfa
now.
right now.
It'll be up now.
Yeah, it's not
Second
cut.
No,
Yes.
it's not cut, but it'll be growing now.
Yeah. You know, I like to put the alfalfa out too. We put a lot of apples out and corn, and there's a couple other things that I'm going to keep under the hat that we put out too, right?
Really?
Yeah, there's
You
a
gonna
couple
play
of
that
things.
game?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You
kinda-
drop shotting for deers
you
or
kinda
what?
got it, yeah, pretty much.
Drop
Yeah.
shot and horny toads for
Yeah,
deers?
just there's different stuff we try, right? Just to see, you know, because we got a lot of guys in our area that feed, and you know, when you can keep animals on your property, you know, to shrink up their home range,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and by what they really like, and it's
That's the important part,
it's a
keeping them.
different game,
When,
yeah.
like it's easy to get them
Yeah,
once.
yeah.
It's keeping them. That's the
like
hard
I
part.
got a guy a few hundred yards away from me. He's pissed right off with me. What are you feeding them?
Yeah. It's really easy to get a big one on your camera once, but to get him to come repeatedly and get him on your
Pattern 'em,
cycle,
yeah.
that's the hard part. You really got to keep them happy.
I'm
Yeah.
so new at this stuff.
Yeah, I won't even
Yeah.
pick up a gun this year. Probably. I'll just,
No?
no, I'm just gonna straight bow hunt. I think this year. I took one with the rifle, one with the muzzleloader,
Muzzleloader.
and one with the bow last year.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a good season. I think this year I'm just gonna sit tight with the bow and
A spear.
and I'll probably only take one. I'll wait till a special one. You
Yep.
know? I don't. I probably won't take 3. I'm gonna scale her back a little bit and maybe focus on just one that I'd really like to take, and put all my efforts into the one.
I've been spending a ton of time trying to get that monster I saw last year on
Now
camera.
you caught a beast on
Cam.
cam.
I seen him
Is
twice
that
in the
one,
woods.
You think? Or he was
That's
too
who I
wide?
want. That's who I'm really hoping I
He's
really couldn't care a
wide,
lot. I
eh?
couldn't. No, the one last year, the 12 point, that was gigantic. He wasn't very wide.
No,
the one I
that
have
you
this
got
this year, he's wide. He's not. I don't. Man,
He's 130 class.
he's
deer.
not-
He's a nice buck.
he's
gonna
not
be
the
nice
other
when he
one.
gets his velvet off.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And he's a nice deer, but he
Yeah.
ain't that one we saw last year.
No.
And he's still in there, and he's with his partner in crime. That's the one I'm looking for. I have not seen him this year, and I feel it's a good sign to have those other bigger bucks in the area.
Did you see it? No, we took the cams out of there, so we don't even know if he was there
At the end,
at the end of the season.
I saw him after the shotgun hunt.
You did.
Not very many people bow hunt where we've
Was
never
that,
seen
was
bow
that the
hunters.
two that we scared off?
He was one of them,
Wow.
and he was with his partner in crime. Now I think the partner in crime, who was a hair smaller than he is, got shot, and Marley saw him come out. But the big one didn't get shot, as far as I know, and he didn't get hit by a car. But we won't know for sure till we get him on camera. I think I got it. Like, I put a ton of time and a ton of bait through where he is. I kind of got a good feeling that I know he's walking in between two watering holes. He hasn't got much of a choice in there. He's got to drink water. So he's depending on which day of the week it is, depends on which watering hole he's at. Because even last year, I kept getting him on camera, and he'd leave for 4 days and then be like, you could get it like time when he'd show back up in the middle of the night. And I saw him and the other one 2 times after shooting hours walking out of the bush. Paid no attention to me, couldn't care that I was there. Walked, down valley, walked by, kind of look up and see me walking, and not scared. The only thing good, it's good and bad. I think that because they're on public land, there's a ton of people walking and ATVing. They're probably not as skittish as other deer. They're used to hearing cars all the time and honking horns, and the time we saw them, those dirt bikers, 40 yards from them, they never even got up. They were laying down when we at the one point I was probably 20 yards away yelling at you, and then all of a sudden he stood up beside us. So he's not real spooky in that regard. He's just really smart. Like really, really, really. I think that if you put a car in the park, he'd run.
Oh, yeah.
I think that he's tuned into those senses.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, as long as that dirt bike keeps going, couldn't care less. It's turning the dirt bike off that's going to... I think that you probably don't need as much scent because there's no way... There's the car traffic in the area that he is. I've never caught him more than 300 yards away from the road either. I had a ton of cams last year, like way in the bush. Never saw any big deer. They're all relatively close to the road for some odd reason. As soon as you go in, right, and now here's my opinion. Now, during the gun hunt, it's kind of, here's my thought on this whole process, because every big deer I've ever caught on camera was close to somebody's backyard or to a field. Now, I feel that in hunting crown land, you have this huge, massive bush area. I kind of feel it's like blast off. We all have a really bad habit of on blast off driving to the other end of the goddamn lake instead of just pulling. I've never seen anybody in a tournament pull the trolling motor up on blast off and go, I'm going to fish here.
Yeah.
Right? I got a feeling that the more people who go hunting, they head for the middle, pushing the deer to the outside. That's my opinion on this. There's probably more racket.
Think, Sean?
There's probably more racket in
He's got a point.
There's probably more racket
Pressure pushes the deer.
in the middle of the woods than there is on the outskirts.
Yeah, pressure pushes the deer. But it all depends on the piece of property too, right?
For sure. I think he's there. I got a good feeling he's there. I like to think he's there.
They're going to have their same safe travel corridors that they're used to traveling all the time. Like, they're really smart animals.
Well, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, they travel with the wind, and they travel the areas they know and that they feel safe in. They like the thick shit, and that's where they like to live, right?
We in the public land, every time we saw them when we were like walking, they'd be on high points.
They'd be high and they'd
high
be
points.
In.
But like obviously, every time we saw them, they were close to the road too.
They were. Yep.
Bedding down close to the road, within 100 yards.
Compared to that property,
yeah,
they were
for
close
sure.
To the road.
They were close
like
to the road.
If you position them on the whole scope of that property, yeah, they were really close to the road.
The guy who shot the big monster, like the second biggest one I know of, shot him off a blue salt lick, and we saw the salt lick.
We did. Yeah.
And it was like almost on the trail.
Yeah.
And that's where that 10-pointer was shot.
Yeah. That's when.
So I kind of feel like, I read like a buck. I'm one of those hunt magazines, and they were talking about like a certain amount of giant bucks. They were talking, most of them live like in urban areas, right? Like in the States, like in bow only areas that are just in town. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be a food thing too.
Yeah, because there's tons.
Oh man, down in your area,
Tons.
Whew.
And they're right on the edge
unbelievable.
Of town.
They're like, yeah, there's a bow area
And I've
in
seen
your
some
area
huge ones.
that is like,
Kind of like keep your enemies closer.
I don't know what it is.
And they'll come right
Oh,
in my
down in
backyard.
down in the county, there's big deer. There's a lot of corn down there too.
Yeah,
right?
for
Like,
sure.
Yeah, down
A lot
there
of corn.
too.
But the biggest deer in his area are like in town. When we went, remember that time we went and you could drive, like we drove all the way into the middle of that bush?
Well, you can't fire off a firearm in most townships. You know what I mean? Like
No, but his area
so
is
it's-
bow only.
yeah, then that's
Right?
why. You know,
That's why.
There's a lot less bow hunters than there are.
Absolutely.
Gun hunters, right?
There's in the States, there's all kinds of bow only zones in
And there's a lot less people that are going to let you hunt when they're inside of city limits.
for sure.
Urban areas have less to no natural predators.
That's true too. Now,
Other than man.
the area where Mark and I
I'm a
seen
natural predator.
when we
You
hunt,
are.
Oh yeah.
even that public land doesn't see any attention until rifle season. Then after rifle season, there's nobody
Yeah,
there.
there's no, we basically
2
had the whole
weeks.
place to ourselves.
Yeah,
We
2
think.
weeks. There's two. I've never seen any other bow
We
hunters.
never
there.
saw any other hunter walking in or walking out.
No, never talked to one, and we like totally abandoned as soon as the gun hunt started in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Which was probably a stupid plan.
Probably.
I think that we should have stuck it out while everybody was chasing them deer around.
Mm.
Totally this year,
They could have been our dogs.
for sure. And really get the sense that this year, we get some nice. That'll be the 2 weeks we catch a stupid one. One of the big ones who thinks that we're
He just
our
said
safe
catch
zone.
A stupid one. He wants to catch a deer.
I
You wanna go
kind
catching deers,
Go
eh?
catch
the
some
catching
deers.
deers.
Catch
I
some
kind of
deers.
feel like
We'll go catch them.
if we can
Catch
set
'em
up
good.
like safe zones where there's like food and they're not getting pressured, that as soon as all them those are like real deal rednecks hunt gun season where we hunt bow hunt.
Yes.
Like they're pushing bushes. I kind of feel if we set up like a safe zone and October and halfway through November, they're in and out while we're there because I'm only taking the monster off there.
Yeah.
So in that period of time, if the monster doesn't come, we'll have created like safe zones for these deer. Whenever Yahoo's driving his pickup truck through there, we are going to be in the hidden areas.
Can you clear private or public land? Can you clear like a shooting area?
Can you clear shooting lanes and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, you're not really supposed to disturb anything in there,
Yeah.
right? You're not supposed
No.
to. But you go through there and you find stands. There's stuff cleared right out. Shooting lanes are cleared right out. Guys just go in there and do what they do, right?
For sure.
You know?
I think that we're on top of the hill where we seen them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need to clean shooting lanes in there.
No.
Also,
She's
in public
pretty-
land, too. If you go in there and somebody's sitting in your stand,
There's
they can
nothing
hunt
you
it.
can do
Nothing
about
you
it.
can do, man.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Nothing you can do.
My plan is to take the bottom part of my ladder out every day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hook a battery up to mine.
Oh, yeah?
But you know what? Like, I think that's kind of the exciting part is that, gambling on, every time I go there, check all my cams, I'm surprised they're there. They're not locked up or anything.
No.
I always think they're going to be gone. And
You don't lock your cams up?
no,
No?
I buy cheap ones though. Whatever's the absolute cheapest on
Oh,
sale.
they're all pretty much getting cheap right now. And really, all you want to see is what's there,
What's there?
you know?
But
You lock your cams up?
I had a cam stolen off me, yeah. And these two idiots that stole it went into Canyon Sports, and they were bragging about being on the property.
Oh, nice.
And because they were like, the guy just had a stroke. We were up on that property, and I said to my brother, I'm like, my cam went missing. And I talked to the guys. I'm like, who are those guys? They're like, yeah, your brother knows them. My brother got on the phone, left the guy a message. He's like, listen. He's like, we got pictures of you and your buddy walking by my brother's other tree camera. I got him on another trail camera, carrying my trail camera.
Nice.
The other one they stole. My brother said it's probably in your best interest to go put it back, right? I went back the next day and it was hanging right back on the tree.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's such a shitbag thing to do to steal somebody's camera
Yeah, well, why,
or their
right?
stand,
Well,
or
anything.
Why?
man, that's nonsense. If I came up on somebody's stand, I'd just leave.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and you know what?
Oh yeah, I back right out.
I would just mark a good chunk of that section that this guy's put the work into this. That's his.
Yep.
We're gonna go hunt somewhere else. And I feel like a good population of the hunters is like that, but there's always
a lot of douchebags
Oh,
out there that'll
man.
climb right in your stand, man.
Oh.
There's a lot of guys out there too that'll go piss right in your corn pile,
yeah.
to try and get the deer off your pile. You know what I
Really?
mean?
It shouldn't
Yeah,
be
there's
like
a
that.
lot of guys out there like that, man. It's that's just the way it is. There's different cats all over the world, right?
People are dicks.
Some people.
lot of
some
people them are.
Yeah.
This has
Well-
been. Let's get to birthdays.
I had one.
You had one on
I had
Friday.
one.
I had one on
You
Saturday.
didn't have one. Oh, you had one way back. Oh,
Way
yes.
back. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk
yeah,
about
we
that.
didn't
40th.
talk about-
Let's start there.
Yeah. Kaboom.
Happy 40th birthday, Sean.
Thanks.
40
We had
years
a
old.
surprise
Yeah.
birthday party for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty emotional for you.
Yeah, it was pretty emotional.
It was a good
for
time.
me.
It was awesome.
It was
Yeah.
a really, really good time. I had a blast. I'm glad I got to go.
I was pretty pissed off when I got there.
Why?
Actually. Well, I wanted to go fishing. I was going fishing. Right, that was my plan.
And
We
pizza.
were all up at Golden Beach. We had our tournament the next day.
Yeah.
It was my birthday. I got out with you for a couple hours in the
Yeah.
morning, got fishing, but we ended up doing some running around. I wanted to have a barbecue, and some people were coming up to the cottage, right?
Yep.
And I wanted to get out fishing for a couple hours.
Most stubborn guy ever.
Well,
You did invite other people to a different party on the same night, too.
yeah.
well, it wasn't really a party. I was just having a barbecue. Some people were coming up to fish the tournament the next day. So might as well come up. We'll have some food. And we'll sit around a fire and we'll just chill out. I didn't want a party. I didn't want a big thing, right? And we got back. My girlfriend and I got back from doing our running around in the afternoon. And Mark, you called me and you were like, "Hey, why don't you come down to Bewley? I just got a bunch of pizza for everybody." And I was like, "Well, why was he gonna get pizza for everybody? And I want to go fishing." And she's like, "Come on, let's go." I'm like, I don't want to go." She's like, "What do you mean you don't want to go?" I'm like, "Well, first of all," I said, "I got all this stuff for a barbecue, and then I kind of want to go fishing, and it's my birthday, and I kind of do whatever the fuck I want to do on my birthday. It's like my day."
Yeah.
She's like, "Yeah, but we're going to go down there. They got pizza for everybody, and, you told them okay." I'm like, "All right, well, get in the boat. We'll take the boat down there." She's like, "I'm not going in the boat." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "It looks like it's going to rain. I'm going to the boat." And she had a point. It looked like it was going to rain. It did rain.
Yeah,
did,
it
yeah.
did. It did, yeah.
But I'm like, "Well, we can stop and hit a couple spots on the way down there." You know what I mean?
Like I said, you're so stubborn.
So yeah, on the way down there, my brother called me and said he forgot the firewood, and that Joey had some at his parents' place, so we were welcome to. So I said, "All right, I'll stop over there and help you load the truck." And when I pulled into the driveway there was a lawn full of people and a pig on a barbecue and music and horseshoes and whiskey, and that's all I remember.
More whiskey.
Lots of whiskey.
That's about as far
There
as
was
I got
lots of
that
whiskey.
day.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was a really good time. Friday was your birthday.
Friday was my birthday. Yeah.
Saturday was my birthday.
Yes.
And today is Mr. Pujek's birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Happy birthday,
Huge,
Nick.
huge shout out to Nicky Boy, who's up in the Northwest Territories filming right now.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Nick does a ton of stuff for Fear Fishing behind the scenes.
So we all got together for our birthday.
Yes, so you and I got together,
And Sean.
and Sean.
Yeah.
Scott never comes to anything.
Scott.
What?
Too old.
WTF, Scott?
Yeah.
I don't think you're older than 40, are you?
No.
So,
Close.
Big
Very
shout
close.
out to Mr. Pujek for his birthday. I'm exactly 1 day older than him, born the same year.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
one, maybe not, maybe even less than a day. I'll have to find out what time. I haven't talked to him yet today, but Nick does a ton of stuff for me behind the
good guy.
scenes,
Yeah.
pulling strings on my behalf. So huge happy birthday to Nicky Boy, and when he's back, I got a dough tag for his area, so I'm gonna see him lots this fall. See Nick lots this fall.
The dough tag.
The other thing though, we almost skipped here. I got to try the brand new Corrado,
You did.
the Corrado K.
The-
After
yeah.
we're done this, I got it upstairs. You guys can hold it.
I can.
I
Oh,
You can
already
hold
got-
it.
It's
I already
right-handed.
felt it.
Does
It is.
I got no use for it.
No.
Does it come in spinning?
No.
No, you got no use for it either.
I believe the new Corrado rods come in spinning. There's 21 or 24
Yeah.
models. It's either a medium or a medium heavy 7.2 I got. It's pretty dope. I'm going to use tomorrow morning. I'm planning on taking the vlog back to the Otonabee River.
Yeah.
I've done a ton of flipping. Tomorrow I'm going to throw some poppers for some smallmouth. I'm going to do it on the Corrado with the 7.2 Corrado rod. I'm going to use that I'm going to try to get some topwater fish tomorrow. That's my game plan anyway.
Nice.
So it's a pretty sweet reel. It's pretty exciting to use it before anybody else. It casts a mile. It's extremely. When you guys see it upstairs, I'll show you guys. You can testify how light the setup
Can we
is.
cast it in your
No,
living room?
you're not backlashing my reel, Scott.
Hey, before I forget, I want to shout out to a young lad named Van in Brooklyn. I
Nice.
did some work for him before holidays there. Him and his dad are really getting into fishing. I tried to talk him out of selling his golf clubs, getting more fishing rods. But Van, if you're watching, how you doing, buddy?
It's amazing how big the vlog's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy, Scott Turner from Ottawa. He just messaged in. He says he enjoys the vlogs. Keep up the good work. He says it's a tough bite up there too, and all the lakes and rivers in Ottawa. And him and his buddies think that it's
Kathleen
due,
Wynne.
due to all the rain.
Kathleen
is.
Wynne did it.
I think it
Right.
has a huge part to do
Yeah.
with it.
For
That
sure.
area too is Rob Jackson country. He's probably stung a lot of your fish.
Yeah. Right?
That could have a little something to do with it. But it's amazing how big the vlog is getting. I like how many people stop me at gas stations or yell out the window of their vehicles, or even cottagers now are starting to come out to the end of their docks and be like, "Hey, are you that kid who does?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Most of them are very polite, are excited to talk to me. I mean, the dock people. We did do our speech on.
Yeah, we did.
Some people are just jerks, but
yeah.
it's really overwhelming. The birthday messages, I got over 1,000 messages between Facebook and social media and text messages for my birthday. Overwhelmed.
750 of them were from Tundra.
Yeah, well, that's true. He did call. He did call for 12 hours. But it's absolutely overwhelming. Like the people are invested. I get lots of messages that aren't like, they're very invested in the vlog. And I get really excited about that.
You know what? I've even been recognized on the lake.
No way.
I have. On
Really?
Rice Lake.
I have too, yeah.
Are you
Scotty
Mark?
got a
New Angler weekend.
Yeah.
Scotty got a message from somebody who's saying they were a big fan of the vlog.
That's awesome.
So it has been.
Was it your mom, Scott?
No,
No, she
she's
is
a
a
big.
big fan.
Yeah, she is a big fan.
I
She
know
was
she is.
excited immediately.
Yeah. Scott's
Yeah.
mom's a big
You
fan.
actually
of mine.
got to meet one of the fans' little hickory stump, Troy.
I did. Yes, we didn't talk about that. He came all
Right.
the way from Pennsylvania. Huge fan.
Mhm.
We're spreading. It's been a good summer. The fishing has been tough, but I think the people I meet at boat launches, like I stop every morning and unhook my boat. I'd be hard pressed to think of 5 times this summer where somebody didn't stop their car and come over and be like, "Hey, Ian, how's it going? I'll watch the vlog." In that, at everything, it is better than one tournament in my life. That is way cooler than winning any tournament.
Oh, yeah. For
It
sure.
makes
yeah.
me.
Jay Troyer, actually, he sent me a birthday gift.
I got a
That's
card
cool.
too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Super cool cat, eh?
Hey! I'm feeling like kind of like chopped liver over here.
Yeah, mine. I'm
Wow.
probably supposed to share it with you during deer season. I just didn't tell you.
That's the Ian I know.
I'm looking forward to meeting that guy. I really like to meet
Yeah.
that guy.
I believe he's coming back before
Yeah.
the end of the year.
Oh,
Yeah,
she's
he
setting
said-
up. He comes out with a bunch of buddies, right?
Yes, usually I think he's coming back with his family.
Oh, is he?
I'm not sure
Well,
though.
we'll make sure we get them all out.
We will get
Absolutely.
everybody
We'll
out.
have a mini tournament.
I got a bunch of free shit for him.
I'll come second.
Yeah, that was a very cool experience. We caught a pile of fish that day. Probably one of the top 3 best days of the summer. We caught a ton of fish that day on the Frog. Hey, anybody else here having a hard time?
Jay Troyer just said.
I'm
didn't-
having a hard time. Sure I am.
Hey, Mark. Jay Troyer said didn't have your phone number, Mark.
Whoa!
Oh.
You should post that online.
That's it.
Jay comes through if you give me your
No
number.
problem, brother.
I'll buy you a tea. Maybe.
It's small.
Well, we want to talk about the hemochromatosis. I guess we haven't talked in the podcast since then. So I got diagnosed with hemochromatosis, which is basically too much iron in your system. It has been. I have enough iron in my system right now for 16 people to test high.
Rock hard boners.
Some days they call me the Iron Man.
We should call
Well,
you
Amber
that.
does. So basically, I've had to go every Friday morning to get 2 cups, 500 cc's of blood removed. It hasn't been a very enjoyable experience. They're having a real hard time getting my iron down. Between last week and this week, it only went down 15 points. I'm feeling a little sluggish, a little tired. From what I understand from reading online, my red blood cells, basically when they take the 2 cups up, by the time I wake up the next morning, the 2 cups of blood are back into my system. But it takes 4 to 6 weeks for the red blood cells to catch up. So I'm hurting on red blood cells right now.
Do you think a fridge magnet would stick to Ian?
No,
Probably.
maybe.
Brother, let's try it.
Is it? Ever got a
Can you
magnet?
imagine that? Just so it hasn't
We
been
know we're doing that tonight.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're throwing magnets at him for sure.
it hasn't been. It's the needle kind of sucks. It's a huge needle, but at least I know what's going on. And this time I got done on Friday. I felt kind of shitty, but the 2 times before that I felt a lot better.
Are you getting accustomed to it now? You know what to expect. You're not. as,
I do.
Oh, taking blood out of you just drains you, man. The next day you feel like you're just smoked.
See, and that was the weird part. The first 3, I felt like shit, and then the 2 after that, my iron levels went way down, and for about 4 days, I felt like $1,000,000. And then this time when they did it on Friday, I was hurting. Like I asked Amber when I slept
Did it go
all.
back up?
No, it only went down 15 points. The time before that, they went down considerably a lot more. But Amber got home from work before we came to your house, and I was sleeping, and I slept. I got my blood out at 10:30 in the morning, and I slept from 11 o'clock when I got home right till 4:30 when she woke me up, and I was like bagged. And with the real strange part is, that never happened before, but as soon as she put the needle in and the blood started coming out, I started feeling like shit. So hopefully this Friday, fingers crossed, I feel quite a bit better.
So is it your diet that's screwing you up?
No. So basically I have a genetic blood issue, and my brother just got diagnosed with the same thing.
Oh,
What?
Yeah. So I basically my body can't handle the iron. So instead of like the iron going into your system and going out of your system, my body is taking all the iron I've eaten in 35 years and is storing it in my liver. So my liver actually when they did the ultrasound looked like I had a fatty liver. And then when the liver specialist looked at it, he was like, that's iron.
Wow.
Most of the time, this is a very, they've only started diagnosing people with this disease on a regular basis over the last 15 years. Most cases, it's said on the American Hemochromatosis website that have been found in autopsies.
Really? Eh? Well, that's
A lot of people who...
so that's a little late.
Yeah, so one of the symptoms is that you don't catch it, and your body starts storing iron in your liver or your lungs or your heart, and someday you have a stroke and you die, and then they find out you're full iron. Diabetes and sclerosis, and so I'm very, 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 very lucky that they found it. And now that diabetes. So and then since I got diagnosed and we spoke to the doctor, my brother and my dad and my mom had to get tested, and my brother tested positive. So my brother is now going to, he'll go through the same thing as me, but my dad tested positive as a carrier, which means my mom has it. So she hasn't got her test results yet, but she has to have it in order for my brother and I to have it.
Wow. You pissed at your mom right now?
No, I'm kind of relieved. My son will have to be tested, so at least we know now, right? It's a manageable thing. It's just better that we know so that everybody can,
Control it.
We'll get these, it may take 50 times of draining the blood, and then it'll get below 100, and then they'll just set up a maintenance thing for once a month I go do it, or once every 2 months, and it'll be fine. It's just getting it down is the problem, and making sure that I don't run out of red blood cells. They may have to stop for a while, just for my body can build back up.
So with your diet now, are you staying away from a lot of things with high iron levels?
No.
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 Oh.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to?
No,
stay away
nobody
from-
brought it up to me. I should probably ask, but
It's
Common
yeah,
sense
that's-
could have brought it out to you.
if you
there's
take
a lot of good. There's a lot of good
iron
food with
in.
iron in it.
I don't know how you
Yeah.
do it, Amber.
Well,
Wade Morris is here. He says sup.
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 Whoa.
It'll be fine. We'll get to the bottom of all this. Do we have any final thoughts, Mark? Final thoughts.
I'm a Viking.
We totally forgot about that.
So
Tell
for,
your story.
For 46 years, I was told I was Scott. So my parents did that DNA, TMG, whatever thing.
Yeah.
And if
You spit in the tube?
turns out I'm a Scandinavian Viking, and I'm proud of it, and I have boobs.
You do got boobs.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I don't know if anybody saw that thread, but that was
pretty
funny thread over there.
So what does this mean? Like, who did you find out which side is the Scandinavian Viking?
She's hot.
I'm not sure.
You're not sure yet?
No. So I could be like the bastard child of some Viking and some maiden.
That could be true.
That kind of been how my family started.
That's no way.
Yeah. And I blew a tranny.
So didn't you wear? You
How
did
much
blow
did
a
the tranny
tranny.
charge you, Mark?
$2,200 to blow a
Ah.
tranny. Yeah. Yeah.
You must have
No
swallowed.
dinner. You know what?
Wow.
I blew my transmission on Friday. had a tournament on what, Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So so Saturday I blew my transmission. Had a tournament on Sunday. The guy from the transmission shop said, "You got a tournament tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "Take my personal truck."
That was nice of him.
That was incredible of him.
Oh yeah.
It's super cool to get companies to do that. The
Yeah.
R&J tire discounters, when they
Yep.
do my oil changes and stuff to keep the Fear Fishing battle wagon on they they're stop on their way to work and they will take my truck and leave me a truck so that I can fish or do whatever I
Yep.
need to do.
Or they
Awesome.
use their Volt, their Chevy Volt, and
Yeah.
I can drive it.
Oh,
Did
nice.
you guys have a Mercedes or something?
Audi.
An Audi? Yeah.
Yeah, me and the kids drove the living shit out of it.
Yeah. I remember that vlog.
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It took us forever to figure out how to turn it on. Push button. Yeah, forever. Yeah.
And I want to put out a big shout out to my buddy Sean here because he has lent his boat out
No,
to. No, you don't want to hear that?
I don't wanna
Okay.
do
Well, you're a good man. You're a good man.
Who did you lend your boat to?
Nobody.
Who did you lend your boat to?
Oh, a friend of mine borrowed it.
Yeah.
He's going camping with his kids, and I let him take the boat for the week. and,
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, no big deal.
He's a sweetheart.
Sean, any
Yeah.
final thoughts?
No, I don't. I haven't had much time to think over this summer.
You've been
haven't
busy.
Thought about much. Yeah, I work from 8 o'clock in the morning till midnight, pretty much every day.
Excited
so,
for deer season?
super stoked for deer season because it means I'm gonna get out and kill a deer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
Amber, you don't have a microphone. There you go. Any final thoughts?
No.
Okay, Scotty, Tundra.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. What's
I
new
just
with you?
hope the summer gets a little better.
You got a recurve
Yeah.
bow.
A recurve bow, yes.
How has that been?
It's been good.
Are you
Did some
embarrassed of
shooting
it?
yesterday? No, not at all.
Are you good at shooting it?
No.
Are you
you
gonna-
stick an arrow in your
Not
motor.
at all, man.
That would make a lot more
Stick an
sense.
arrow in your
Yeah,
motor.
that would make a lot of sense.
Are you sure?
Here's what I want to thank everybody for watching the vlog. Swing over to the YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe. That'd be huge. The other thing is, for the whole month of August, because it's my birthday month, you can get 35% off all Fear Fishing apparel. All you got to do is use birthday as the discount code, no capitals. 35% because in 35, I was going to do yours, but then I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I'd be losing money at that. That's a huge chunk of change.
Oh, jeez.
Swing by. If you go to the Fear Fishing with the Facebook page that you're watching now, share the video that I posted. All the shares are going to go into a contest at the end of the month for autograph hat and a bunch of swag from the Fear Fishing Apparel Company. It's just a big thank you. I really like to recap my year rather than January 1st to January 1st, birthday to birthday. It's a fresh start. I feel like it's a new year, but I want to thank everybody for the last year. Your support has been overwhelming, and I can't tell you enough how much it means to me.
How old are you?
What, this year or last year?
Your birthday. How are you now?
35,
You're 35.
25.
There is
75.
75.
Venuses.
I'm something with a
Penis,
5. I'm something with a 5.
Yeah.
I'm not as old as the rest of you. That's all that
Hey,
matters.
Mark, how was the alumni tournament?
That just gets better and
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Everybody, I want to thank you all for watching and tuning in. You tell all your friends about the Fear Fishing webcast. You can listen to it tomorrow on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Follow on all the social media platforms, Fear Fishing. Tomorrow, I'm going to vlog. I need to go to bed. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Penises.
Bye-bye.